What's up, everybody? Bootsy Greenwood here. In front of a bookshelf, so I look smarter. It's the oldest trick in the book because it works. I want to talk today about self development versus self help. These are two worlds I've kind of just smudged into a jambalaya in my mind, and I really lately have started to see the difference between these two things. One being very much focusing on change, and the other focusing on, basically developing and featuring certain characteristics about who we are naturally as individuals. My latest offer is a book club. We're going to be doing the reality transurfing book and reading that and discussing it together. So if you want more details about that, click the link right below this video. But one of the things about that book that I think is so unique is his focus on self-development. Now, we all need self-help. We all have to heal. That's part of integration. That's part of accepting parts of ourselves, doing the shadow work, making some changes that we know we need to change. But I think often we get kind of caught and swept up in this, trying to change a lot of things that are unnaturally changeable for us, or at least at the moment. We try to push, we try to force, we try to change and mold ourselves into this image that we think we should attain to based on what everyone else is doing and all of these other inputs, right? It's far less focused on, hey, what is individual about me? What's different about me? What's something I can feature? What are my tastes, right? Like, we almost feel like I can't offend anybody. I can't have an opinion. I can't go against the grain because I have to be accommodating, and I'm in this self-help world, so I should be malleable. And we should be warm and compassionate and empathetic, absolutely, but also boundaries and understanding your own limits, your own features, and who you are at a deep level, so that you can do like a gesture of charismatic expression of really who you are. So there's two sort of categories here. And to be honest with you, it's not like you do all the self-help and then do everything that you got to do there and then you move on to self-development. It's more like both of these paths are happening kind of at the same time, right? Like, you've got to integrate things as they come along and heal, if there's traumas and things that have hurt you in the past, then sometimes that doesn't come up when you'd like it to. Like, hey, well, everything just come up all at once and I can just deal with my shadow all at once and this one magic pill and we're done with it. Unfortunately, there's just not a magic pill. This is a lifestyle. This is a sort of adventure to understand the self better, right? And so I think the development part of that is what happens when we start to heal and start to focus on ourselves. We can start to get into that world, but they're still happening simultaneously. There's going to need to be some healing to have happen first, sure, to even begin to accept ourselves again. The truth is, you're perfect. There's nothing wrong with you, okay? The things that you don't like about yourself, those are just habits. They don't make you a bad person. God's not holding it against you. Reality's not mad at you. The world isn't trying to punish you based on something that you insignificantly did in a grocery line when you were 12. Those are absurd, very limiting beliefs. And that's really not, a place to kind of get hung up in, right? Like, having those tastes, having those ideas and features that we each have is something to be celebrated, right? Like, I open my stand-up act right now with just talking about how we're like this infinite, blissful, joyous, eternal being of light with a stinky, dirty butthole, right? Like, there is something to all of this that's very human about development, okay? Like, we shouldn't be trying to fix our humaneness. We shouldn't be trying to, reduce all the smudges that are human. In development, we want to shift our focus and see those and embrace those, right? Those imperfections, those weird, strange things about ourselves. Those can actually be featured. They can be a win for us if we understand how to do that, right? How to focus and hone in on that. Because ultimately, if we're trying to change things about ourselves that we can't change, we're wasting our time and energy. There's no point. Just stop. If there's something that you can't change, just stop, okay? And you need to either accept that you can't change it, okay, and feature it if it's, a personal kind of thing and it might even just be your view of it, right? Or, it might take some deeper work. I believe there is such a thing as spiritual bondage. But keep in mind that we're always changing, and you're changing whether you want to or not. So if you're choosing development, I think that predisposes you to see the parts of ourselves that need help, the healing, right? That development, we're starting to sort, okay, what is me and what is a program? What is what I used to be, what used to be me, and what can I feature? What can I understand about myself? What am I fighting to change? And what is it that I really just want to heal because I feel like this isn't okay? God's not judging you, okay? There's no guilt that should be associated with any of the habits, programs, behaviors that you've accumulated. That's all they are, is just a habit, just a program, just a thing that's basically on autopilot. And that's why you can't help it, because it's your subconscious mind, right? That's pushing you in that direction, because it's either just been pushed in that direction for so long that it's really just become a habit, right? Like the law of hypnotic rhythm that Napoleon Hill talks about. Other things are tastes and interests in things, and changes happen naturally. Sometimes you don't have to try to, we force we're like, I'm gonna change this. It's like, dude, you're not like some robot that can just program itself into this. I mean, maybe you can, but I don't know. I don't feel like that's the game here. I think the game is to find the things to feature, to use as much energy as possible in a positive way, highlighting the things about ourselves that are different and unique and part of our personality and who we are as an expression of the divine. And then the other part is just healing, just being okay, accepting ourselves, facing and integrating the traumas and hurts that we've had in our past, and maybe even past lives. I mean, I haven't done that yet, but I'm open to it, So anyway, I say all that to say, I think it's important when you are doing this type of work to really focus on the difference. Hey, is this something that I'm trying to heal? Like, is this a view or a belief about the world that I need to change personally? Or is this me trying to change something about myself that, you're never gonna not fart, bro? You know what I mean? Like, your taint is stinky, right? So that's a fun mix, right? Spirituality and butt stuff. But that's the point. The point is, we're here to create and tell our story, ultimately, right? And in a way that nobody else can do. And so those flaws, those perceived imperfections, those can actually be very attractive and can lead to some amazing results by featuring and leaning into those things. That's what I've personally sort of been doing. That's why I love comedy. Honestly, I think that I would be very toxically positive had I not pursued comedy. It made me be very honest about my feelings and going up and down and having a difficult time or doing this or whatever, because I couldn't allow through the writing process. I had to explore through the writing process what I was, repressing, what I really believed. Ultimately, it just comes out. And that, I think, is part of the self-development that brings the self-help to the surface. Oh, I need to heal this. We continue to develop, hone, understand who we are better, and then the process continues on and on and on. But I think it's important to kind of see the difference between those two things, the difference between self-help and the difference between self-development, and start to understand in context, what are you putting your energy to? Are you wasting your energy by trying to spin your wheels and change things that it's not happening right now? Or could those actually be certain things that could be featured, that you could work on, that could be, that could be and are part of your natural persona and personality, and could be something that is very charming if you would just lean into it. So that's my thoughts on that. Just wanted to throw that out there. Hit the link below and check out my new offer. Much love, many blessings, and happy holidays, everybody. Peace.